Welcome back to another episode of Highly Anticipated Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Raphael, and I got with me today our co host, Will Young.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
we're excited to be back. I know we kind of took a little week off, but we got a lot to talk about
Little
today.
hiatus.
There's a lot of NBA news going on, a lot's going on in the NFL. But first, we're going to have to talk about the Chiefs. I know in our previous episodes, we are talking about how the Chiefs might have fell off, my homeboy ain't the same. But right now, after all that, them boys are sitting first in their division right now. So, Will, my question to you is, do you think the Chiefs are back and they could keep this going?
Well, I definitely don't want to overreact and say, "Oh, the Chiefs are back," because yesterday's game for the Raiders, I mean, they just looked lifeless out there. Really, it was bad. It was awful. But I will say that I think yesterday showed that Pat Mahomes is learning that he don't got to throw a 60-yard bomb every time he throw the ball, bro. Like he can go within the flow of their offense. Bro, you can get the ball to I mean, they did it tons of time yesterday, but you can get the ball to Tyreek Hill on the flat numerous times throughout the game and let him pick up his 6 or 7 yards after the catch almost every single time. I don't know why it took this long, and I got Kelsey on my fantasy team, so I've been pissed. But I don't know why it took them so long to figure out Kelsey's open just on simple routes. Listen, I get it. Pat Mahomes, he's a showman. He done did all the whatever, the sidearm, ESPN, House of Highlights, everybody love it. But he don't have to be spectacular all the time. He don't got to be a superstar. He make the simple plays, and what he do yesterday? Throw for what 400 some yards, tutties. Like,
Nah,
come on, man.
and
But
I
I'm
agree.
not gonna say I don't know. I'm not gonna jump yet and say that they back. But if they can play the way that they did yesterday, they'll be fine. They'll be good.
Nah, and I agree with you 100%. I just think Mahomes and the Chiefs, I just feel like even though the teams were starting to figure them out, I felt like they just had the thought process like, okay, look, even though they're trying to figure it out, we're still going to try to make this work. And I
All
guess
right.
they're just stubborn in a sense. And finally, it was just like, okay, we're just going to play this a little bit differently. Clearly teams have figured it out. They know that we want to go deep to Tyreek. They know that we just want to go for the big plays all game. So now it's like, okay, bro, like we're gonna play the long game, like we're gonna play the game like I guess you can say in the right way in a sense. Because
Mm,
really before them boys were playing like they was playing in Madden for real. Like
backyard, just
yeah,
slinging that thing.
and it was working. But now it's like, okay, bro, look, we gotta settle down and we gotta actually play football, you know? And honestly, not to knock the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders they're not a bad team. They're first in the
Not
division.
bad. They
So
were bad last night, but
but
no, they're not
but
a
the
bad team
Chiefs
at
the
all.
Chiefs handled them. You know what I'm
Mm,
trying to say? The Chiefs handled them last night. They really did. So I mean, in terms of are they back? Like you said, I don't want to overreact, but I feel like if the Chiefs continue to play that the way that they're playing, I think they can be back in that seat of being one of the best teams in the AFC. And when you have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, I just feel like you can never count them out. Like even when
right.
them boys were like 3-4, I still didn't want to count them out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Chiefs are going to be just fine, and I really do feel like people really can't ever just count that team out. But
That's facts.
speaking about other NFL teams, so the Bucks lost to the Washington football team this past weekend. Like, and the Bucks are, I'm not gonna lie, like they're one of my Super Bowl front runners. And I'm like, I don't want to overreact and be like, like their season's done after. But I mean, how do you feel about that? Like them boys lost to the football team.
Listen, I am gonna overreact. I get it, and I get his GOAT time and all of that. But I mean, time has shown numerous times throughout the year that I mean he's gonna make mistakes. He's not as quote unquote invincible as everybody makes him out to be. He's gonna make mistakes. He's gonna sling. He's gonna put up numbers. Don't get me wrong, but he's gonna make mistakes. But the biggest thing for the Bucks is the defense. I don't know. I mean, the Bucks defense last year was like the creme de la creme. I don't know what they got going on now. I have no clue, but it ain't it. And it ain't seem like almost halfway through the season, basically, it ain't seem like they didn't figure it out. And at this point, I don't know. I don't have the Bucks as my Super Bowl front runners no more. I never did to begin with, to be honest. I mean, I didn't see who was gonna beat them, but they just look so beatable now. They do. They just look so beatable.
Yeah.
So I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't got them going to the Super Bowl. Not this year. I don't know.
I agree with you. I agree with you in a sense. Like, look, the Bucks look so formidable. They just, like you said, they looked unbeatable when the season began. We're kind of just like, man, I don't really know who's gonna really be coming out. Like, who's gonna beat them out of the NFC? Like, it was hard to really think about that. You know, even though the Cardinals were still, like undefeated, it was still just like the Bucks were just the Bucks. You know what I'm trying to say? But after that game, it's like, dang, like the boys really do look beatable. Like they're not, you know what I'm saying? They're not invincible. You know what I mean? And I think Tom had 2 tutties and 2 picks. He didn't play great, So I mean, obviously, though, I do think it's like another Mahomes situation. I mean, they have Tom Brady at the end of the day. So, like,
and of course, they got Gronk sitting out, and AB, he was playing super well before he got injured. So when they come back, but that's not. It's their defense that's the problem right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. And speaking of teams getting upset, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens lost to the Dolphins. Tua was playing with a fractured finger. Like, I just don't get it. Like, this past week, there were so many upsets, and I just didn't get it. Like, me, I'm a Dolphins fan. And honestly, I wanted them boys to lose. I mean, at this point, the way that they're playing, like, you might as well just tank, So I was just like, you might as well. But, I mean, the boys came out and fought, and I'm just like, we were literally talking the other week how the Ravens are looking like a team that they can make a run, and they're over here losing to the Dolphins.
Just inconsistent. I don't know. Lamar, he's weird, bro. I mean, he'll form a comeback down whatever 2 weeks in a row, and then he'll pull some stuff like this. I don't know. I don't know the Ravens. To me, they're unreliable. I wouldn't count on them for anything. I wouldn't count them out either because you never know when Lamar just gonna go crazy. But from what he's shown, from what they've shown, I don't know.
Who do you think? Okay, so if I was to ask you right now, in order, who are your top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL? In order, right now. Don't even think about it. Just say it.
Couple weeks ago, I definitely have top 5.
Top 5 quarterbacks right now.
Top 5 quarterbacks
in order.
That's tough. In order.
Yeah.
Let me go out of order and then.
No. Give me your top 5 quarterbacks right now.
In order.
Don't think about it, just say it.
For me. For me, okay. 1 right now. I'm gonna go Aaron. At number 1. 2. I'm gonna go. And he's been struggling definitely against the Titans. I already got a pick in today's game. 2 picks actually, but I'm gonna go Stafford. At 2. I'm gonna go Brady at 3. I'm gonna go Mahomes at 4. And just because Mahomes had a good week, I'm not gonna swap him and Brady yet. I'm gonna go Brady at 3, Mahomes at 4. And man, I mean, Kyler hasn't played a minute. I ain't sure about Lamar.
Still a top 5 though, even though he's been hurt. Like Kyler Murray's still.
I mean, I guess that's all. But if you're talking like right now, I mean, he's been out the past 2
years. You have to put Lamar. There's no other quarterback I can think of that's.
I mean, I got you. It's probably. I mean, because Lamar's on pace to put up over like 1,500 total yards offensive zone, I gotta put Lamar in there.
Yeah,
but in terms of if I'm just talking like from a quarterback position, I don't know. I really do think the gap between him and Dak is I don't know. It's closer. It's closer than what it is, than what it seems like. It's closer than just the numbers that Lamar put up. From a court, at least from if you're just talking about an overall player, Lamar's he's just electric. So yeah. But from a quarterback standpoint, it's tough. Yeah. It's tough.
So if I had to give my top 5 quarterbacks right now in order, at number 1, I probably would go with Aaron Rodgers at 1. At number 2, I would probably go Matthew Stafford, honestly. At number 3, 4, here's where it kind of gets a little dicey for me.
A little unshy.
I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, just because Mahomes had a good game, like I'm jumping him up. But like me personally, I would put Mahomes at 3. I mean, Brady, I really feel like Brady hasn't really had a really good game since really the beginning of the season. But I mean, I would put him at 4. I'd put him at 4. I'd agree with you. I'd put Brady at 4. And at number 5, I was going to put Lamar. I'm not going to lie to you. And obviously, if Kyler Murray was playing, he would be in there, no question. He honestly be top 3.
Yeah.
But since he's been hurt, at number 5, I'm going to put Dak Prescott. Like, forget about the trash game he played against. What, the Broncos? Let's not think about that game. But he played terrible. But other than that, I'll put him at 5. That would kind of round out my top 5 quarterbacks right now. And I don't know. I just feel like Dak and the Cowboys. I mean, I think they're going to win their division. I mean, unless what the Eagles win out, but I don't see that happening. So I think
doubt it.
Gonna make noise. And speaking of football, what do we think about like OBJ, and the Rams? Like, how did you feel about that?
I think it's a perfect fit.
Yeah,
honestly, it's just everybody.
In terms of the OBJ trade, I'm tired of people being like, "Yo, OBJ was the problem in Cleveland." I just watched the Browns get waxed 45-7 literally yesterday, and people are sitting there talking about OBJ was the problem. And then they're like, oh, the defense was why. The defense is the problem. I'm like, I don't care. Right. Yeah, the defense gave up 45 points, but your offense put up 7. What are you talking about, bro? There was a play where this dude, Baker, literally threw the ball to double coverage. Nobody was open, literally right to the other team. And I was convinced he had on their jersey. I was convinced because I was like, bro, he is not the answer in Cleveland. Baker
not long term, at least.
No, he's not the answer long term in Cleveland at all. And people need to really realize that. They really do need to realize that. He's not the answer at all.
I agree. I never thought really. I mean, whatever. I don't really know the details of the relationship between, or nobody does really, between the relationship between Odell and Baker. But whatever reason it was, it's crazy to just sit up there and be like, oh yeah, OBJ is a problem. He's just too cocky, too egotistic, whatever it is. That ain't it. The bottom line is, dude was open and could have made plays. Baker just wasn't getting him the ball, going through his progressions quick enough, whatever it was. And I think, I mean, I know they had that huge blowout the week OBJ left, or whatever, and then everybody wanted to say, oh, told you OBJ was a problem. Nah, I'm not. I ain't buying that.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all, honestly. But kind of let's leave the NFL for a little bit. Let's talk about some NBA basketball. And I already see your jersey that you got on.
For those y'all listening, you already know
your jersey
I'm repping Kevin today.
But let me ask you this. Well, not really. Let me ask you. I'm gonna give KD his props.
Go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's averaging 29.
Indeed.
5 and I don't know if it's 5 and 5 or 5 and 8. I don't know,
No, it's about. I believe it's 8,
Yeah,
7 or 8 rebounds,
look, I'm not gonna
5
lie.
assists.
He's been apparently like the stats that I've been seeing, like he's been on a
Goat
tear.
team,
Like, and
goat team.
it's crazy because bro, like they're like saying that he's like averaging like damn near like the least amount of field goal attempts, and he's over there like shooting a crazy
My
percentage.
man is my man is averaging the 19th most field goals attempts in the league,
Yeah,
and he's averaging 29.
yeah, it's crazy. He's been shooting so efficient. It's
Listen,
really
I said
ridiculous.
I said a couple weeks back. You asked me who you think my front runner for MVP was, and I said the only person who I think besides Curry, of course,
Mm.
but the only person who I think will be able to sustain it throughout the whole season and who will be my MVP is Kevin. And that's what bruh. It's at a point now, and when you just watch him play, it's almost like boring, not necessarily boring in a sense, but it's like he's mastered the game.
Yeah, no
He's
question.
mastered like his spots. Like he gets to his spots so effortlessly. Like, bruh, what did he do against the Magic? Go 11 for 12 and put up 30? And that's not layups and dunks.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just him just getting to his spots and just easy. It's just easy for him.
he's
That's
so
the game
he's
looks
so
so
efficient.
effortless to him
So
right now.
efficient. And I gotta give him his props. He's so efficient. He's been really playing great.
It's
And I
effortless to
agree
him.
with him and Curry. I think they're the front runners for MVP. But I do have a dark horse MVP candidate that I don't even think you're gonna really expect me to say this. Like for real, my dark horse MVP candidate that I think people should really start paying attention to is DeMar DeRozan. He's been hooping.
DeMar?
DeMar DeRozan's been hooping. He's been hooping, bro. Like, and I really feel like a lot of people, obviously,
DeMar who?
that is Zach LaVine's team. Don't get me wrong.
DeMar who?
DeMar's been DeMar DeRozan's been hooping.
For real, if we talking dark horse before DeMar, I'm putting PG in there easy.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Well, that man did just shoot 7 for 25 against the Bulls, and DeMar did
All
put
right,
35
all
on
right,
his head.
all right. He
Like,
did
I'm
indeed.
not
He did
gonna
indeed.
cap. I'm not gonna
But
cap.
PG still averaging almost like 27. Something probably like
The only reason I'll put DeMar over him
8
is
and
because
5.
the only reason I put DeMar over him is because I think that like I feel like the Bulls are gonna finish higher in their conference than the Clippers are. Like
Well, you gotta think too. PG is also averaging like almost 2.5 steals a game too.
I know,
So
but like we've seen that the MVP award is a lot. I feel like it's politics. You know, obviously there's a lot of factors that go into
okay.
it. It's not just the fact like, look, your numbers are crazy, but
Mhm.
like Curry should have won MVP last year, but them boys
100%.
were like an eighth seed. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even get in. I think they're in the play-in. You know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like if
Mhm.
the Bulls finish maybe top two in the
I
East, top
doubt
three
it.
in the
Doubt
East.
it.
But I'm saying if the
Doubt
Bulls finish top two in the East and DeMar DeRozan is their leading scorer, he has a really good shot of being MVP. He does.
He's got a good shot. Do I think it'll happen? No.
And it's
Not
speaking of standings, bro, have you seen the standings? Like I think the Wizards are first in the East, and then the Bulls are third, and the Cavs are fourth. Like that is the craziest top four I've seen in a
let
while.
me say now, it is not an overreaction. The Wizards are legit. And I
You
thought
think the
this.
Wizards are legit?
Let me tell you, I thought this when bro. I'm gonna just first off, let me just say they did it the right way. Okay, they are deep. When after they made all their moves in the offseason, getting everybody. I mean, we knew. I feel like everybody, as much as everybody, Bash Kuz when he was on the Lakers, everybody knew that once he went
I knew
someplace else,
Kuzma was always good though.
right, he
Like
was
that,
gonna be a
I just
good
think a
player.
lot of people can't play with LeBron. Like, and I love LeBron. I just feel like
Exactly.
he didn't fit with LeBron.
Like people was forgetting like the man was putting up 40 and stuff his rookie season. So let's not forget like Kuz is still a good player. But bro, they are at least 2 to 3 deep at every position. The point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, Trez, you got Gafford. I mean, bro, Thomas Bryant isn't even playing. Like they are a deep team, and they have like a collective team. And then of course you still got Bradley, who's just their superstar, who's gonna put up what 30 on any given night, whatever. They have a full complete team. And me personally, listen, you talking about the Bulls. I'm telling you now, I got the Wizards with a better record than the Bulls in the East.
You think? All right, let me get this.
I
Let me get
got
this.
the
You
Wizards
think
with
that
a
the
better record
No,
than the Bulls.
you think that the Wizards will finish with a better record than the Chicago Bulls?
I'm calling it now.
That's an overreaction.
That is not an overreaction. They
There's
are a
no way you believe
complete
that.
team.
I think the Wizards are good, but I do not think they're better than the Bulls. Don't get me wrong. And then it really makes you do
Do I
wonder
think
though.
they're better than the Bulls? I don't know. Who will finish with a better record?
The Bulls.
I think the Wizards. I do.
My thing
I'm
is
taking the
though,
Wizards.
it's really gonna sound bad even saying this. But was Russell Westbrook the problem in Washington? Like, I'm being for real right now, bro. Like, I'm being for real right now. Like,
Well, you can't say it was the problem because he single-handedly carried them to the playoffs.
okay, so then
So I don't want to say
trade them, and them boys are the number one seed right now in the East.
that's true, but they put pieces together.
I guess
Like
you're
that's
right.
what I'm saying. They're a lot deeper than they were when Russ was there. Like, look, bro, they got so much for Russ, so much.
Yeah, Kuz,
So they're waiting.
Harold was good too. I don't. People were like Harold is. I was like, bro, I never thought he was bad. I just think if you're gonna play with LeBron, bro, like your whole role changes. You're not the same player.
Exactly.
Like you are,
I mean, Kerr
unless
should have
you're
stayed
another
exactly where he was.
unless you're another superstar, like your role's not gonna change unless you're that third option as a
Right.
superstar. And that's what Russ needs to realize. Like, and kind of to get onto Russ, like, bro, I think he's a great player. I think Russell Westbrook's a great player. He's gonna go down as a Hall of Famer.
Easily.
But bro, your point guard cannot be averaging over 5 turnovers a game. That is like that is going to be the reason if the Lakers do not figure that out, they are not going to make it far in the playoffs because in the playoffs the basketball is so valuable. You don't you might get away with it some regular season games against the Spurs, but bro, like you're not going to win a playoff game if your point guard has 9 turnovers.
That's facts.
That's just not. And it was crazy because I watched the Spurs game, and then it was like, I mean, like obviously when the Lakers win, like I really don't be thinking too much about his turnovers, but I was like, you know what? Let me go look at the box score. I was like, it looked like Russ had a pretty decent game. I go look, he had 7 turnovers. I'm like, bro, what? And his turnovers, they're not even like turnovers in the sense like, oh my gosh, like yo, these guys are just clamping me up. Like I can't get a bucket. Bro, they're literally
IQ turnover, and Russ is it's crazy because bro, he's so smart, and he is I'm not taking nothing away from the man. He is a fantastic playmaker. No matter what anybody says, that man is a fantastic playmaker. But his IQ sometimes it's like you looking, it's like man, it's so high, and then the next thing you know, you like, bro, what are you doing? It's like I don't know, Russ weird. But he's been playing pretty deep. And besides outside of the turnovers, I give him his props. He's been playing pretty decent.
I just think his only problem is the turnovers.
My concern is, I mean, he's shown that he can play well without Bron. Now, when Bron comes back,
I mean, I think when Bron comes back, I think that's going to be better in a sense in late game situations. I think the Lakers, like, if I'm being real, not even trying to be like funny, the Lakers really should be like 11-3. It's just the losses they have been like just literally falling apart. What do you mean? They had literally probably 3 games where they had at least 20-point leads and they blew it.
That's true. It could be because they're
literally.
Not that
and
great.
What are they? They're 8-6. They're 8-6, and they had 3 games where they had 20 plus. They had 20 point blowouts, and they blew it.
Two to
the Thunder.
Who have 2? What, they got 2 wins on the season?
I don't know. They're actually on a win streak right now. They're on like a 4-game win streak because Dort literally just got like a game-winning like steal bucket the other night.
That's true. Well, they did for a minute. They only wins of the season was against the Lakers.
Yeah, but them boys on a win streak now. You can't sleep on them boys. Them boys getting buckets. What you
I'm
mean?
sleep. I'm dead sleep on the Lakers.
No, you're not.
Like I said,
No, you're not.
not a
Relax.
top 4 team in the West. I've been said that,
Relax.
and I'm gonna say that all year
Relax.
long. Not a top 4 team in the West.
They're gonna be once LeBron get back from his abdominal strain or his abs hurt. I
What's next?
don't know. I mean, I love Braun. I personally think he probably just resting, but that's just my opinion. But if he strained his abs, then he strained his abs. I mean,
What was it? Ab wheel? Was it crunches? What do you? What did you do?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out myself what he did. I don't
And
even
even if
know.
you did, isn't that like a 1 or 2 game thing? Is
I
that
thought it
really?
was day to day. Their first thing was like day to day, and then dude been out for a month.
Yeah, ab strain? That's like flu-like symptoms. Really, you just kind
I
of.
don't know. I don't know what he got going on, but look, I just think when he does come back, though,
I go.
I think I don't care about your goat. We don't care about your goat. Nobody asked you who your goat was. I know the goat's
My
not Kevin Durant. No one
my
thinks Kevin
goat
Durant's
wouldn't
the
do
goat.
that. My goat wouldn't do that.
Kevin Durant's not even in the goat conversation.
Okay, I'm not gonna get into this.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
just
gonna.
saying, like he's not even in the
We're
goat
not.
conversation though.
We're not.
Like
To you.
but like
To
when you
you.
hear when people talk about who's the greatest of all time, it's between LeBron
To
and
you.
Michael Jordan. You've never heard someone say Kevin Durant.
To
Never,
you. To
never,
you.
never. When have you heard someone say
You're
Kevin Durant?
gorgeous to me.
Yeah, he is. Whatever. Kevin Durant is a great player, but you've never heard Kevin Durant be in the GOAT conversation. Never. Not
You.
one time.
You.
I'm
To
just saying,
you.
have you ever heard that?
I have.
To when? Wait,
Huh?
who's ever said that?
I've had conversations.
Conversations with yourself.
Listen. Bottom line.
Moving forward. Who is your what rookie has impressed you the most so far?
Mm, impressed?
Yeah.
Was we impressed? Honestly, I don't know if there's. I mean, of course, I don't know, impressed because you kind of knew what you were getting. Evan Mobley,
Yeah.
definitely solid player.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's
He's
impressed me,
legit.
but you kind of, I feel like everybody expected, or at least I did. Like, I mean, he's clearly a walking double double on any night, and with his length and his size, pause. But he's like a great rim protector. I think it's some stat out there
Why'd you
where
say
like,
pause? Never mind. Keep going. Keep going.
all right, going back to what I was saying, I was rudely interrupted. Um, I'm saying Evan Mobley because of just his height. We knew kind of what you were gonna get out of him in terms of the ability to protect the rim. He has shown that he has the ability to guard the perimeter. Um, yeah, I mean, finish around the rim, he can shoot, and I think he's just gonna continue to get better, to be honest. So I guess I would say he's impressed. Scotty has definitely impressed me. Just his ability to kind of do everything on the court.
Yeah.
I mean, he's guarding right now. He's guarding 1 through 5. I mean, his defensive versatility, his energy on the boards. I don't think he's shooting that many threes, but mid range, he's doing good. Finishing around the rim, he just brings a little bit of everything to the table.
Yeah. Personally, between I really do like Scotty a lot.
Mm-hmm.
One, my biggest thing about him, he's a fearless defender. He's fearless.
Yeah.
Like there was
He's gonna
literally, I
guard.
remember a play again, like he was playing the Nets. Dude literally picked up James Harden full court, strapped him, like literally.
Wow.
And then it's crazy, like, and it's just like I feel like he really can do it all. Like, obviously he's gonna have to polish up his jump shot a little bit, but bro, he can bring the ball down the court. He can guard 1 through 5. He can pass. He can score. He's athletic. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I really do feel like, and the Toronto Raptors fit him perfectly. Like that team fits
Definitely.
him perfectly because I don't feel like the Raptors don't have like a. I mean, they have Pascal, but I just feel like he hasn't been that Pascal from his All-Star year.
Right.
But like, they don't have like a superstar.
Right, like
You
that
know,
guy. So to
yeah,
speak.
they
Yeah.
don't have that. So I just feel. I mean, Van Vliet to me is probably their best player. I mean, between him and Siakam, those Van Vliet's probably their best player. But I really do think like he fits in with them like a glove. And then also, like you said, Evan Mobley, he's a walking double double. He's a bucket. But another rookie I kind of like a little bit. I mean, he hasn't since his first couple of games, his numbers haven't been like too crazy, but I feel like
Mhm.
he's pretty solid player. Chris Duarte from the
Chris
Pacers.
Duarte. What was a buck at Oregon? But
Yes.
I'll be honest, first couple games, I didn't expect him to go,
Yeah.
he was pulling like with the confidence like he had been there for a minute.
Yeah. I
And
don't
he
know.
still, yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know if like I mean, the first couple games, like you said, he was that boy was playing fearless. Fearless.
Sure
You know what
was.
I'm trying to say? Like, and correct me if I'm wrong, like the Verts on the Pacers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I just wasn't like sure if like when Levert came back, because I know Levert was hurt, if like maybe,
Right.
those shots he were getting before he's not really getting now, but I do think like he's gonna be good too as well. And obviously, I mean, we haven't talked about Jalen and Cade, but I mean, I just feel
I
like
think they've actually I've
Jalen,
been unimpressed with them. They're just
I mean,
inconsistent right now.
that's really the main thing for me is I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like they're really inconsistent. Well, Jalen to me is inconsistent. Cade,
Super
I feel like
inconsistent.
Cade, like he had those really bad games to start, but I feel like he's kind of just been
He's getting a
finding
little
his way.
rhythm.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I mean, I like Cade though. I like Cade. Don't get me wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
like Cade. And I mean, what are you guys
Jalen,
like? What are the Pistons? What are y'all like 2-10?
huh?
What are the
Listen,
Pistons?
you ain't gotta worry about us over here. You worry about us when we get to that play in. Huh?
Play
How
it. You
about
think you
that?
guys are gonna make the play on? The play in?
It's a long season, man. We
I
just
feel
gotta get
that.
on the run. Once K get in stride, Jeremy hooping. Hey,
Sadiq Bey.
Sadiq, B Stu, like quit playing with us. Like, come
Sadiq
on,
Bey.
man.
You better
I
get
feel like
bucket. You
feel
better
like
get
you're not
buckets.
saying his name with
What
respect now. I
how
feel
did
like
what is it? Say his name then. Let me know how to say
I'm
it.
saying it is Sadiq, baby. I'm saying you don't have
Sadiq.
to say it.
Sadiq
You
Bey.
don't have to say it
He's
like
a hooper. He's a
he's a
hooper.
buck.
Yeah, I
He's a
believe it.
buck.
He the best
He's
player
a
for
buck.
y'all?
You seen what he did to James Harden, right?
Yeah.
Seen what he did.
James Harden is scared.
Made James Harden shut down.
James Harden. I mean, James Harden's low key been finding his stride a little bit, but his games are kind of like on and off. Like he'll go for like 39, 11 and 10 one game, and then the next game he goes back to the crying for fouls. James.
I trade him straight up for Ben right now. I don't care.
Hey, hold on. Kind of the like our last thing we're gonna talk about. Where is Kyrie? Like,
No,
I'm really confused. Like, no one has
I
been
don't
talking
know.
about this, man. Where is Kyrie Irving? Where is Kyrie Irving? Like, where did he
I don't
go?
know. I don't. We don't know. We don't know. I
He's
think he
MIA.
still might be playing football at that school. I think he in the league. I think he in the league.
Kyrie is
Playing
not.
football.
Kyrie is not coming back. He's not. Bro, I'm being honest. I really had hope that he was.
Look. This is what I was saying earlier in the earlier episodes. I was saying because of the hype, he was doing what he wanted to do. Now things starting to die
The
down,
hype
lay
died
low.
down a month ago. Like, I have not heard about Kyrie in weeks.
His season, his flag football season probably is coming to a close because the winter.
Kyrie is not coming back to play, bro. He's not. I'm convinced
He's
he's
gonna
not.
be back. Don't worry. Don't worry. And when he
Bro.
come back, the Nets is unstoppable, and KD gonna get that ring. But until
Think
then,
so?
let him go.
And bro, one more thing. Like a lot of people love talking about the Warriors, not the Warriors, the Lakers, excuse me, about like how bad they be playing. Why is nobody talking about the Bucks? Them boys are like 6-8. And nobody is talking about the Bucks. Nobody.
All that hype died down. All this
But I'm
Giannis
saying though, like I've not heard any news, any sports outlet. Nobody. I do not hear anyone talk about the Bucks.
Why should they?
But I'm saying whenever Russell Westbrook has a 10 turnover game and the Lakers lose, people love, oh, the Lakers, blah, blah, blah. Bro, I don't know, I might be tripping. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Bucks just got waxed by the Hawks. I'm pretty sure they just got waxed by the Hawks. I'm pretty sure.
Trey just had a 40 and 10 ball.
Against them, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Nobody talking about that. Them boy
Giannis.
About the
Bucks. Don't nobody care about the Bucks.
Them boys
don't nobody care about them.
They still in the championship high.
They
came back trash.
They shouldn't be. I don't know what all that hoopla about. Yeah, Giannis the best player in the world now. All that, man.
The current best player in the world right now, as we speak, now, is Steph Curry.
Stop.
Yes, Steph Curry is the best player in the world right now. Who is? Kevin Durant better than him right now?
Hey, after this episode, Josh Raphael will be taking new submissions for new co-hosts because this is getting out of control.
Is Steph Curry not, bro? Steph Curry's the best player in the world right now.
Bro, how?
What do you mean?
How?
I'm talking about from the play right now, this NBA season, I would say Steph Curry is the best player right now.
How? Do you just not want to say Kevin?
How is Steph
Curry? How?
Not?
Why? Because it's too easy?
What do you mean? Steph Curry, they're leading the NBA in their record. They have the best record in the NBA, and Steph Curry's playing out of his mind. I never said Kevin Durant's not playing out of his mind, but Steph Curry's doing that while leading his team to the best record in the NBA without their second best player.
They have like a better team. Like their team is just.
Your second best player is James Harden. I don't want to hear anything about a second
let's
better
be real.
team.
Let's
Your second best player is James Harden, and you have
Let's be real.
And you have LaMarcus Aldridge, and you have Patty Mills off the bench. I don't want to hear anything about whatever. And you have Joe Harris, one of the best shooters in the league. I don't want to hear anything about.
Hey, let's not act like Joe Harris ain't buns.
He really just. I think he just shot 5 for 5 from 3 the other night. So what are you talking about?
Let's stop with all this. Kevin playing with James Harden. James, listen. There's only one superstar.
James Harden is
arguably
he is arguably a top 5 player in the league. What are you talking about? You have two of the arguably the top 5 players.
James Harden is not a superstar right now.
What is James Harden? What is he?
Kevin Durant is the only superstar on the team. What is he?
Yeah, what is James
Harden? I don't know
Harden?
what he is right now because he hasn't figured out how to play. He has to relearn the game of basketball.
That's it. Yeah, shut it down. Shut it down.
I don't know what it is, but I can tell you this much: he's not a superstar right now. He's not.
All right, let's save that. Let's save that for the next one. We're gonna hope that James Harden's play changes by the next episode. But hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Will. Always. You guys like and subscribe. Follow us on socials. We're going to be back on another episode next week.
I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. See y'all next week.